I get a lot of people asking me how we were blessed to walk away from corporate America in our early 30s. Well, listen, I don't want to keep that a secret. I want to share it with the world. And so maybe you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to figure out, how do I even get started on my journey of entrepreneurship and getting to a level of freedom? Well, text the word freedom to 737 777 9909. Enter your information in, and we look forward to sharing some information with you. A proven system with small overhead, right? That you can do part-time, spare time, right from the comfort of your home, and have amazing mentors, coaches, and a community of entrepreneurs who are willing to support you and help you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Welcome to Code Freedom. This is your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 169. And today we're going to talk about why profits are better than wages. Profits are better than wages. And so, look, we're in this situation right now where inflation is going through the roof. In some parts of the country, gas is like $6, $7 a gallon. It's just crazy, right? Things are going up. And, eh, first off, things go up, things go down. And we must always understand that. Like, if something's down, just know that it has to go up at some point. The stock market has to go up, but it also has to go down, right? The real estate industry is going to go up, but guess what? It's going to go down, right? And inflation is going to go up, it's going to go down. That's just the way it is, in the words of the late great Jim Rohn, right? And this is one of his philosophies, one of his ideas that he shares, that he's one of my favorite philosophers, one of my mentors that I've never met, right? But I've gleaned so much from him. I've learned so much from him. And one of the things that he says is that profits are better than wages. And that, when I understood that, my life had never been the same. And so, uh, let me just say it this way. Um, with wages at your job, they say, hey, this is what you're going to get paid, and you could work your butt off. I mean, you could just give it everything you have. And for the most part, unless you're like in some type of sales where you get bonuses and you get paid based on performance, which we're going to talk about that in a second. But for the most part, if your income is just like, okay, if you're a nurse, there's really not a way you could work harder to see an increase in your income other than whenever your pay raise comes, or just working overtime, right? If you're a doctor, if you're a firefighter, if you're a police officer, if you're a teacher, right? Most industries, unless you're in sales or some type of industry where you have the opportunity to get paid on performance, and let's go there, right? Because performance is a great idea for you, because if you get paid on performance, you're almost exercising that entrepreneurial muscle, right? So, what if you could do that part time, or do it some kind of way in your job? Make sure you have some kind of function in your job where you can get paid on performance somehow. I don't know if that's possible for all industries, all jobs, but the reason why you want to get paid on performance is because if you do well, you can see an increase in income, right? And so if you bring more value to that company, they will pay you more based on the performance that you have portrayed. But for the most part, if you're just getting paid on wages, you work 40 hours, you get paid for 40 hours, and it's based on whatever they said, whatever agreement that you had, that you were going to get paid. And it's pretty much not going to change. I mean, you could slack off or you could work harder, and it's pretty much going to be the same. But getting paid on performance means you have an opportunity to make it change. Someone said that I don't like not knowing how much I'm going to get paid. And the other person said, well, I don't like knowing how much I'm going to get paid. Basically, meaning like, I'd rather not know what I'm going to get paid, but know that I could work my butt off and I can bring so much value that they got to pay me versus knowing what I'm going to get paid, knowing that at the end of these 2 weeks, no matter what I do, this is all I can get. And it's not really going to change unless I just work more hours, get another job, or just do something else. Right. So just understand this is a philosophy, it's an idea that will literally change your life. And so some people run away from sales. I say you should run to sales, right? Because look, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you gotta have sales. You got to have sales. You gotta have some kind of product coming in and some kind of product or service going out, um, or you're not earning any income in your business. Your company is not thriving, right? It's got to have sales coming in. So sales is not a bad thing. We've talked about that on an early episode, and I'll probably I'll find it and then reference it in the show notes if you want to look at that episode. But again, um, you can get paid on performance at your job. But here's the other idea is why not just have a part-time business, right? It doesn't matter what kind of part-time business. Find something that you're passionate about. Find something that you can do, and just stick to it. Just do it. Like really give it everything you have. Don't play around with it. Don't nickel and dime it. Like I almost treat it as if it was more important than your job. And to be honest, in my opinion, it is. Yes, the job is there to pay the bills, but your profitability is there to help build your fortune, right? It's there to help build a legacy for you. It's there to help build something that could potentially or really it could put yourself in a position where it could replace that income. You can earn more with profits in a day than you can make all week at a job, right? Because profits can increase as value increase. As value increase, um, profitability increases. So you become worth more by serving more, by giving more, by providing so much for so many people, right? Service to many leads to greatness. It's a principle in the Bible, right? That will never go away, right? It's seed time and harvest. It's giving. It's as you give, you shall receive. So if you give a lot of value, you'll receive a lot of income and profits, right? That's just the way it works. So listen, profits. How can we start earning profits? I was teaching my nephew this today that the idea of buying something uh, at a low price and then selling it at a high price, right? Just trying to get them to think entrepreneurial, right? And just sharing some ideas and things like that. So I just want us to find a vehicle, find something that we can do on the side, really, really part time. I'm not even saying you got to break the bank or you got to, make 100 grand in 6 months or make millions of dollars right away. No, I'm just saying, what can you do that can make an extra 20, 30, 40, $50 and then turn it into $100,000? And then next thing you know, thousands of dollars and then multiple thousand. Then next thing you know, now you have options, now you have choices, and now you can do some things in a whole nother way. And you can start positioning yourself to live a life of freedom, right? Make your money make money. I'm sorry, make your money work for you and then make your money make money, right? Find a way where you can gain leverage in that profitability where it's not just you, right? Hopefully, but you have a team of people or you have some kind of leverage factor where you can earn income when you're not necessarily working. That is critical for freedom, is to have income flowing in without you, right? You don't want to have something where it all relies on you. Maybe it may start out that way in the beginning. I was having some folks doing some work on my house this past week, and I was even sharing that idea with the gentleman because he's up in age and he's a painter, and I was just sharing with him that he's saying I don't know how many more years I got, and I said, look, what you need to do is you need to assemble a team, right? And I was just breaking it down for him. I just love that kind of talk because it just intrigues me. It intrigues me, the mindset of people. It intrigues me of the whole idea of business and entrepreneurship and how we can grow if we just understand these concepts and if we just understand these ideas. Listen, some people understand them better than others, but that's why I have this podcast here to help you understand so that you can start living the life of freedom that you deserve. But you got to, number one, think profits way better than wages. Yes, just keep the wages. I'm not saying quit your job. I'm saying keep the job, but understand that if you just focus on the job, you'll always be at the job. But what if you started to really focus on a part-time basis on some vehicle, some business, and look, there are now businesses that you could start for less than $100. I mean, there's some businesses you could almost start for free, honestly, and you can really scale it into something substantial. But you just have to have a few things. You got to have ingenuity. You got to have diligence where you're going to work hard. You got to be willing sometimes to work harder than the income that comes in the beginning. But then once you build the reputation, once you build the value, once you build the brand and the name and all those things, and you just start getting better and better and better, the profitability increases and it goes up, and it can go up drastically, right? That's the thing. I mean, at your job, what are they going to give you? A 25-50 cent raise, maybe a dollar if you're good, right? Sometimes maybe a little bit more than that, but we're talking about, man, imagine if 1 year in your part-time business you earned, an extra $500 a month, and it was like an extra 6 grand a year. But then the next year it jumped up to like 20 or 30 grand. Just because you learned some things, you were able to put some things in place and pivot in a way where you were able to serve way more people, and hence your income just went through the roof. And then that income just every year went up incrementally. That's what we're talking about. That's what happens with profits, and that will never happen with wages, right? Even if you're a profession like, let's just say you're in a profession where you have a high paying salary. Like if you're an attorney, or if you're a doctor or a dentist, or an engineer of some sort, your income, you still have a W-2. Number one, Uncle Sam is taking out most of the taxes, and then number two, if something happened, I told this story in one of the episodes, but there's a story of a doctor who was a surgeon, and he got arthritis in his hands, and he could no longer really do the surgery anymore. But high paying surgery, like lived in one of the best houses, but yet because of the arthritis, his house ended up eventually going into foreclosure, simply because he could no longer perform with his hands anymore. So high paying skill, but it's got to be more than a high paying skill. It's got to be that entrepreneurial mindset where you can learn how to turn something into, number one, something of your own, but then number two, how can you leverage it, right? If you were a doctor, your goal would not be how many patients can you see. Your goal would be how many doctors can I get to see how many patients, right? That's what I would be focused on. If you're a realtor, your goal should be not how many houses you can sell. Your goal should be how many realtors can I get to sell houses, right? And those things take leadership. Those things take again, ingenuity and things of that nature. So again, you may start off with just you, but you want to get to a place where it's just more than you, where you can duplicate yourself, you can scale, and then you can really start to see a breakthrough. And so, listen, I hope this episode helps you. I know it helped me years ago when I really understood the concept. We're going to talk about it a lot more. That's why Code Freedom is here. So I'm so thankful that you are plugged in and dialed in. Share it with a friend. Find somebody who doesn't know anything about Code Freedom and share it with them so they can get their life in a position of freedom the way you are positioning yourself to be free. So appreciate you all. Thanks for tuning in. Episode 169. We're out. God bless. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.